Good morning, Year 6. Welcome to Tuesday's English lesson with Mr. Nicholson. Today we're going to be looking at apostrophes for possession. So I'd like you to pause the video here, please, and write the date, the title, and the wilf into your book, ready to proceed. Okay, welcome back. I'll go over the wilf in a bit more detail later on. Let's start off as normal with our total recall. Similar to what we did yesterday, so we should be very confident with this today. I think we'll start with prepositions this morning. So, just remind yourself what a preposition is. Give an example, write it in your English book, put that word into a sentence, and then write this sentence and identify the preposition. Okay, have a quick go at that and then come back to the video when you're finished. Okay, so a preposition is a word that can help you say where something is by giving its position. So lots of examples including words like over, under, on, in, around, inside, besides, next to. There are more and more. Hopefully you managed to put your word in a sentence and then you've written this one out. Let's have a look. A rainbow arched over the forest. So hopefully you're very confident you can find the preposition straight away. Another way you could do it is you could eliminate the words that aren't prepositions. So for example, if I just pick up a pen here, we could say that, well, it's not a because that's the determiner. It's not rainbow because that's a noun. It's not arched because that's what the rainbow's doing, that's a verb. It's not the, because that's a determiner, and it's not forest, because that's a noun, that's a place. So you could do it that way, but I'm pretty sure you would have been confident. The word that tells us where the rainbow arched is the word over. So give yourself a big tick if you got that right. Well done. Okay, let's move across and have a look at our SCQE. Can you remember what they stand for, I wonder? S stands for statements. C stands for commands, Q for questions, and E for exclamations. So I want you to identify, there's one of each, which one's which. If they're any you find tricky, you could do the other three first, and the one that's left must be that one. Identify them and then write down, and then write in the punctuation. Okay, pause the video, have a go at that, and I'll do the answers in a moment. Have you been to the gym? Have you been to a gym? You're asking a question there. So we need a question mark on that one. That's our question. Dan ran to the gym. That's just telling us something about Dan. It's just giving us some information. So this one would need a full stop on the end. And that is a statement. Drink plenty of water. So we talked a bit about this yesterday. It starts off with this bossy word. And any sentences that start off with the imperatives are called commands. And you could have done an exclamation mark. Depends really whether a person is shouting or not. Or a full stop is fine as well. So that's C for command. And finally, well, you probably got it by the process of elimination, but this is a comment on something. It's an exclamation. Okay, great job if you got 4 out of 4 with that one. Well done on today's total recall. So, quick recap from yesterday. Before we move on to possession, we looked at apostrophes for contraction. I would like you to write, to give these expanded forms and write down their contracted versions. So if I do the first one, did not can be contracted to, oh, got caps lock on, to didn't. Okay, so that would be the contraction of did not. Pause the video here and do the other 7, and then I will show you how you did. Okay, hopefully you've had a go at that task. As a quick recap from yesterday, it's always good to go over things again. Helps put things in our memories. So it is, excuse me, can be contracted to its, apostrophe after the T. We are can be apostrophe to we're, apostrophe after the E. You have can be contracted to you've, apostrophe after the U, or the Okay, they are can be contracted to there. Lots of spellings of there, but it's this one you need, with the apostrophe in, of course, after the Y. I am can be contracted to I'm. It's the simplest one, the shortest one. We will can be contracted to wheel. Not wheel like on a car, but wheel as in W-E apostrophe L-L. And should have is should have. We should have gone outside. So you write the word should. We leave out the H and the A, so that's where apostrophe goes. And then we put in the V and the E. Okay, so tick those if you got them right in your English books, please. And now we will move on to apostrophes for possession. So apostrophes can also be used to show possession, and this is where an object belongs to something. Belongs to someone. So if you were writing a sentence and you saw the words Mrs. Clark's computer, and you might have noticed the apostrophe here, what that does is it shows that the computer belongs or is in the possession of Mrs. Clark. Okay? And the easiest way I always do this when I'm doing apostrophes is I think the computer belongs to Mrs. Clark, so the apostrophe goes after Mrs. Clark. That's where it goes. Okay, here are some more examples of apostrophes for possession. The book bag belongs to... Oh, that's a bit of a mistake there. Let's say Olivia. The book bag belongs to Olivia, so the apostrophe goes after Olivia. The boots belong to Bob, so the apostrophe goes after Bob. The toy belongs to Julie, so the apostrophe goes after Julie. Olivia's book bag, Bob's football boots, Julie's toy. Now this is quite simple, but it will get harder as we move through the lesson. And when we start looking at plurals, where there are more than one. So, when something belongs to more than one person, the apostrophe goes after the S. Now again, if you use the way I'm helping you here, it won't be too tricky. So the cloakroom belongs to the boys, so the apostrophe goes after boys. The changing room... Oh, just got a message for... Team's thing from Grace. Well done, Grace. The changing room belongs to the players, so the apostrophe goes after players. The staff room belongs to the teachers, so the apostrophe goes after teachers. So when there's more than one thing, when there's a plural, the apostrophe goes after the S. But if you say it like I'm doing, and say the changing room belongs to the players, the apostrophe goes after the players. Okay, that will help you. So, where should the apostrophe go? Think, is it one person or more than one? Okay, so, we've only got one Jane. So if you're saying the shoes belong to Jane, and there's only one person called Jane, the apostrophe would go after the word Jane, so before the S. Here we've got Nick's new car. There's only one Nick. The car belongs to Nick, so the apostrophe goes after Nick. And here we've just got one cat. The whiskers belong to the cat, so the apostrophe goes after cat. Now this is where it's going to get trickier, because we've got 6 horses here. So the stables belong to all 6 horses. So we would say that the stables belong to the horses, so the apostrophe goes after horses, not horse. And similarly, we've got lots of raiders. So the boat belongs to all the raiders. The boat belongs to the raiders, so the apostrophe goes after raiders. If we put it before the S, then we're saying that the boat only belongs to one of the raiders, and that's not correct. So very, very careful when there is plural. Okay. Have a little try with these tasks. There are some errors. Can you spot them? We've got fish and chips. The cars were on the road. Half-price clothes. I saw a dog with its bone. Lucy's books were on the table. Very tricky, these, actually. Can you spot the errors? See if you can. Have a little look at them, have a read. See if you can figure out what's wrong each time. Okay, let's have a look. Just move this down one at a time. Okay. Nothing belongs to the fish and chips. The fish and chips aren't in possession of anything. We don't need any apostrophes at all. Just take it out. Don't need it. Okay. The cars were on the road. There is nothing belonging to the cars in that sentence. There is no possession at all. Take the apostrophe away. I think you guessed what I'm going to say now, don't you? Half-price clothes. Does anything belong to the clothes? So put it after the clothes. No, nothing does. We do not need an apostrophe. Alright? I saw a dog with its bone. We talked about its yesterday. You only use an apostrophe for its if it's it is. Would this make sense? I saw a dog with it is bone. No, of course it wouldn't. The apostrophe should not be there. Okay, we've actually found where we do need an apostrophe now. Lucy's books were on the table. Does anything belong to the book, though? Nothing belongs to the book, so we don't need the apostrophe in the word book. The books belong to Lucy, and there's only one Lucy, so the apostrophe should go after the word Lucy. Lucy's books were on the table. Well done if you spotted those mistakes. Okay. This is where it gets even trickier, I'm afraid, Year 6, because some special words called plural nouns make things a bit complicated. When you think about it, you don't say childs, you don't say persons, you use a special plural noun, children, or a special plural noun, people. Okay? To make these nouns possessive, you add the apostrophe and an S. You wouldn't say, the shoes belong to the children's, you would say the shoes belong to the children. So if you said the children's shoes, the apostrophe would go after the N, because the shoes belong to the children. And you wouldn't say, I don't know, the country belongs to the peoples. You would say it's the people's country. The country belongs to the people. So the apostrophe goes after people. The apostrophe always goes after what that thing belongs to. Okay, here are some of the special ones then. So we don't say thieves, we say thieves. We don't say wolves, we say wolves. When we say there's more than one volcano, it's ES on the end. That's the same for glass to glasses, fox to foxes, witch to witches. Pony becomes ponies, which is IES, not just an S on the end. And then we've got children, we've talked about people. And we don't say mans, it would be men, and we don't say womans, we say women. Okay, so all of these ones at the top here, where they have an S on the end of the sentence, so I'll just draw a box around the ones I mean. Let's choose a different colour. So all of these here, which end in S, so down to ponies. If something belongs to, say, the ponies, so the apples belong to the ponies, the apostrophe would go after ponies. The apples belong to the ponies, so the apostrophe goes after ponies. Okay. The hats belong to the witches, so the apostrophe goes after witches. The lava belongs to the volcanoes, so the apostrophe goes after volcanoes. But it's different at the bottom. So, if the changing room belonged to the children, we would say the changing room belongs to the children. You wouldn't say the changing room belongs to the children's. So the changing room belongs to the children. So it'd be the children's changing room. The changing room belongs to the children. The apostrophe goes after children. So you'd have to put an apostrophe before the S. Okay, it doesn't make sense saying the changing room belongs to the children's. It doesn't make sense saying the changing room belongs to the men's. so the apostrophe would go after men. Okay, the handbags belong to the women, the women's handbag, so the apostrophe goes after women before the S. And the country belongs to the people, so the apostrophe goes after people before the S. Okay, so it's very, very difficult, these words. This is hard. This is something really I wish I could help you in school. It's one of those where you're going to get stuck a few times, I think. But anyway, I know you'll still have a go and you will try your very best. And if you send photos into your class teacher, if we spot any mistakes you've made, we can point them out for you and tell you where you went wrong. Okay, so I'll make these as big as I can. Here is your bronze task for today. For each sentence, decide where the apostrophe should go. Decide if the underlined noun is singular or plural to help you decide. Bob's football was black and white. The football belongs to Bob, so the apostrophe goes after Bob. So if I was putting the apostrophe in, you would just write that sentence out. The football belongs to Bob, so the apostrophe goes after Bob. Okay, that's all you have to do for the others. So pause the video here if you're going to try bronze. You might want to look at silver though, so here's a look at silver. There's a few more for silver today, there's 10. Read the sentences and add the apostrophes in the correct place. So let's have a look at the first one for you. The clown had not turned up for the children's party. The party belongs to the children, so the apostrophe goes after children. Okay, and you can just carry on writing those out and putting the apostrophes in where you think. You will need to think carefully on each one. Don't just guess. Don't rush it and just put it wherever you think, wherever you want. You've really got to have a little bit of thought and make an informed decision. Pause the video here if you're going to try silver. And now I'm going to show gold. So we've got 10 for gold as well. Very similar to silver, but the words, the sentences are a bit trickier, I think. So, the puppy's shiny metal water bowl was empty. So, the shiny metal water bowl belonged to the puppies. Now, I think there's more than one puppy, so the bowl belongs to the puppies, so the apostrophe goes after puppies. Okay, so that's a bit trickier for gold. Okay, so I would spend about 20 minutes on your independent task. So pause the video here, and then rejoin the lesson when you're finished, and we'll have a go at the word class game just to finish the lesson off. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you did well with your bronze, silver, or your gold. Make sure you send the photos through to your teachers. We had a go at this yesterday. I've mixed them up a little bit today. So I was saying yesterday that each word can be put into a class or a category. So eat, that's what somebody is doing. So we would say that the word eat is a verb. Okay? Have a go at the other 9 in this set of 10 questions. See if you can put the words in the correct category. Pause the video and then I'll go through the answers just to finish today's lesson off. Okay, everybody, let's just finish the lesson off by going through the answers to this word class game. So, rabbit it's a thing, it's an object, it's an animal. So the word rabbit would be a noun. Well done if you got that right. I am holding an apple. It's that short word in front of apple, and those little words are called determiners. Besides can tell me where something is. I'm sitting beside the computer. So that one is a preposition. Okay. Whilst holding my cup of tea, I typed on the computer. So we're using whilst to start our subordinating clause. So we would call that a subordinating conjunction. If you are playing happily, it's telling me how you're playing. So those words are called adverbs. Content is another word for happy, so a content child would be a happy child, and that word is describing the child, and describing words are called adjectives. We looked at this yesterday. I think the word was America. Today the word's mark, and you'll notice that starts with a capital letter. It's a noun, but because it's a special type of noun, we use a capital, and they're called proper nouns. So, I'm going to look in your book. I'm using your to replace your name, and we call those words a pronoun. And finally, the pencil, which was very sharp, helped me draw, and that's a special type of pronoun. In my booster group, we used to always leave this one there. It's called a relative pronoun. Okay, what I'd like you to do is to tick the ones that you got correct and write down your score out of 10. And hopefully you beat yesterday's score and you're getting better and better at this. And we're going to keep going, and by the end of this term, I'm hoping lots of you are going to get 10 out of 10 every time. Okay, thanks for joining me this morning for that English lesson, everybody. Take a quick break before you go on to maths and enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.